No, you are not to anything.
Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. Are you following me on social media? Because if you aren't, you should be. I would like you to follow me at The Hopefulist, which you can find me on Facebook and TikTok. Also at Instagram at _hopefulist.com. Now, if you are following me on on social media, then would you do me a huge favor and invite your friends to follow along as well? You can share any of my posts. You can actually invite anyone to come and follow the page as well. Anyone you know that may want a daily dose of inspiration and positivity. I don't know anybody who wouldn't want that, right? So let's start out with the quote of the day. Coming from Simone Biles today, and she says, always take a moment to celebrate the obstacles you've overcome, the silent battles you've fought, and the hard decisions you've had to make. Celebrate your strength and resilience. Yes, Simone Biles, the gold medal gymnast from Team USA. So keep all of that in mind as we go over today's topic. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you are not to anything. And I'm going to get into what that means. I had a conversation with a friend the other day about something she said that kind of hurt my feelings. Now, she explained that she didn't mean it the way I took it. Okay, great. I'm glad I brought it up and we worked through it. But at the end of the conversation, she said, stop being so sensitive, which isn't the first time I've heard this. And I just simply replied, I am sensitive. To which she said, I know you are. I know you are. Okay. Now, neither one of us was wrong in what we did. She said something that I took the wrong way. I brought it up to her and realized maybe she didn't mean it the way that I took it. It was okay that she said it, and it was okay that I clarified it. But what should never happen is someone telling you how you should be. I am sensitive, and my friends should take that into consideration when talking to me. And if I do get my feelings hurt, don't make me feel like it's my fault that it happened. I've been told all kinds of things that I am too about. I'm too loud. I'm too reactive. I'm too much. I take things too seriously. I take things too personally. And all of these are true. And if you agree that whatever too you are being accused of is accurate, you can commit to trying to change it, but because you want to, not because of what someone else thinks. If somebody else thinks that I'm too loud and it bothers them, but I don't mind being too loud, then that's their issue, not mine. Don't let somebody be like, whoa, stop, you're being so loud. I mean, that's kind of a bad example because there's situations where you're not really supposed to be loud. But for the most part, if somebody's telling you you're being too something and you're okay with that, then just say, that's how I am. Proceed accordingly. Now, I had a falling out with a friend once when she accused me of taking things too personally and making everything about me. I hadn't heard from her much lately. I had reached out to see if everything was okay, and she didn't respond. Now, that is one of my triggers. Don't ignore me. I can't stand being ignored. I figured that was not a good sign that she ignored me completely. A little time passed, reached out again saying if she was upset with me about something, I'd like to know so that we can hopefully fix it. Well, she proceeded to go off on me about how busy she was and everything isn't about me. I discussed this situation with someone else who is close to me who said, I do have a habit of making things about me when they aren't. That she probably was just busy and I took it to be about me. Now, I have put a lot of thought into this, and I would still do what I did over again. I was reaching out to a friend and was ignored. I took that to mean there was some sort of issue. So I proceeded accordingly. But when I was told by someone else that I do take things too personally, I felt like I was the one that had done something wrong. And maybe in certain situations, I had taken things too personally, but not always. And I truly tried to reconcile this particular situation to no avail. So, in just these two instances, I was told I was being too something. And I disagree with both of them. There are times I do agree. I do react quickly to things in a negative way. I do always assume the worst. I'm getting better. But these are things I agree with and would like to change. But that is my decision. No one else's. And don't let anyone tell you you are too of anything. It's actually a bit of manipulation when this happens. When I'm told I have to stop being so sensitive, that is because that person doesn't want to have to worry about my feelings. And guess what? I am who I am. If you can't take a little extra care in the way that you say things, then I'm just not that important to you. Did you ever have someone say they have to walk on eggshells around you? I have, and it makes you feel terrible. It made me feel like I was making their life more difficult because they felt the need to have to watch everything they said around me. Now, there may have been times in my life when I took things the wrong way, but berating me for being sensitive was not the way to go about it. Because you shouldn't be asking people to change their reaction to you. You should be asking how to get that person to have the reaction you would like them to have for themselves. Are you following me? And the craziest part of this is when someone tells you that you are too something, it automatically brings up these feelings that you are doing something wrong, that you need to be the one to change. And that's just not true. That is why when my friend told me to stop being so sensitive, I just calmly replied back that I am sensitive. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of that. I won't be made to feel bad about that. My friend should take that into account when talking to me, just like I should be taking their personality traits into account when talking to them. I know being around someone who is sensitive can be exhausting. I'm not nearly as sensitive as I used to be, but it still pops up. And keep in mind that people who are sensitive are usually just trying to get approval on some level. In my case, I grew up in a situation where I didn't feel like I did much right. So now I'm overly sensitive about certain things. It's just the way I am. I'm working on it and trying to overcome these inadequate feelings. But my being sensitive has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the baggage I have from living my particular life. But if you are around someone who you feel is overly sensitive, just step lightly. And if you gather you said something that was offensive, just ask. Just ask what just ask the other person what you said that upset them. Then talk about it. No, it's not comfortable. No, it's not always easy, but it usually will come out with the best outcome. No one should be walking on eggshells around others, but we could also go the extra mile to try and make sure feelings aren't being hurt. And when they are, to communicate about them in a calm, rational way. Keep your defenses down and just listen. Then you can come to an understanding. Excuse me. There is one exception to being too something. You are likely too hard on yourself. And that is something I am constantly encouraging you to stop. We have so much against us each day and so much to overcome from what we've been through in the past. Do not let someone make you feel like you are doing something wrong because it may make them uncomfortable. Nope. That's a them problem, not a you problem. So you are not two of anything. If you would like to dig deeper on some of these issues, please check out my website for the services I offer. Hopefulist.com/training is where you can find all the information. We could work together to make sure you are being the you that you love, no matter what, with no apologies. So if you're not already following me here, or if you haven't hit that like button or subscribe button, please do so and leave me a review if you don't mind. So as always, thank you for listening. Please share this podcast with your friends. I would most appreciate it. Now go on out there and be badass this week. I know you got it in you, and I'm here cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.